It's been a bumper year for movies. There's been a lot of good ones and a lot of big successes, big box office draws. Do you agree?
Yes. It's
big
been
box
jam-packed.
office briefs. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Just a big pair of underpants.
Okay.
Joker, I'm
filled with
talking about.
Oh, no, I get you now. Oh, my God.
Big white briefs. Big white and wide briefs.
Dirty white, though.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
true, yeah.
more of an ivory.
Well,
you know
he
what I
lives
mean?
in a fridge or something, doesn't he?
That's right. Man, when you really reduce a really complicated artistic movie down to its basic core, a lot more fun, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
But what we are going to talk about this particular video is numbers, not the TV,
TV show numbers. Ah.
So give us a like for not talking about the TV show numbers, though we're happy to come back and talk about numbers.
That's
because these are the biggest box office hits, the 10 of them for 2019. These numbers aren't confirmed yet, and these things shift and change, and different sources say different things, and studios hide numbers, and marketing budgets aren't taken into account.
But we have the 100% accurate reading on this is the best list.
Correct. Couple of honorable mentions up top. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 90 million budget, 372 million box office.
Ka-ching!
Us, 20 million budget, 255 box office.
Ka-ching ching!
John Wick 3, 75 million budget, 322 box office.
Doing, oing, oing, oing.
Hustlers, $20 million budget, 156 million box office.
Still pretty good.
And I mentioned Star Wars here because it's currently updating, but it is not as big as the previous two Skywalker Saga movies, but still it's holding pretty strong at this point in time. Who knows how that's going to turn out? Probably in the top 10, I'd imagine.
Ka-ching question mark?
Ka-ching question mark. Number 10, though, we start with How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. On a budget of 129 million, it made 520 million.
Now, this is How to Train Your Dragon 2 or 3?
3, Mason.
3, okay.
Not
Congratulations.
including all the animated series that are on Netflix
right.
that extend the lives of the characters. We've got a lot of buzz up top because he's got that Captain America beard.
Oh, I see.
His hiccup
Right.
has grown up. I haven't seen it. But I'm happy for this series because what I have seen of it, I quite like the first one, and it's just it's a solid DreamWorks franchise. I feel like a lot of the stuff...
Which we never thought we'd say 10 years ago.
That's right.
Imagine there being a solid DreamWorks franchise.
Yeah, I mean, some of the Shreks are good. Kung Fu Panda I also like as a series.
That's a good
as
one, yeah.
well. But I think that's good that like movies outside of Disney also make money in the animated realms.
That's increasingly rare these days, and hopefully it'll still happen. Yeah.
Next up, we have at number 9, the Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw presents the new Fast and Furious spin-off. Budget of 200 million, box office 758. Not as big as the last few Fast and Furiouses.
Yeah, right. I wonder why that is. Fast and Furious Burnout, or just not as many cars in the
called
trailer?
It Fast and Furious Burnout.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right there,
yes, exactly. Yeah.
No, I'm not sure exactly. I think because Vin Diesel is a huge draw internationally as well. You know, he's got like the biggest Facebook fan page or whatever.
I thought you were going to say the biggest face. You're not wrong.
No, he's got a decently sized face, but The Rock also pretty big face.
Pretty big face.
Statham, huge face.
Huge face, all face that man.
All face, mostly face.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought this was fine.
Yeah, I found it very average.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was on Netflix without the main star, like the big star, and I mean, I love Statham, love The Rock, Idris Elba, but if it was just some no-name actors on Netflix, I probably wouldn't give it a second thought.
Yes.
This movie, so...
And you haven't?
I haven't. It doesn't have...
that many cars?
It doesn't have that many cars, certainly, and it doesn't. I don't think it has. It's drifted too far from the core concept of Fast and Furious.
And not Tokyo.
And
drifted.
it's quite. Thank you. It's. I just feel it's kind of generic.
Yeah,
could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the charm.
And it had that transforming motorbike, which. I mean, they're straying further and further from selling DVD players, which was the first movie.
That's exactly
now
right.
it's like genetically enhanced super soldiers and holding trucks together with your bare hands while they get pulled off a cliff by a helicopter.
But I mean, eventually, everybody will have thrown out all their DVD players, and there'll only be one DVD player left in the world, and it'll be worth $1 billion, and then they can heist it.
Can't wait for that one. Can you wait for this? Number 8. Guy Ritchie's Aladdin cracked $1 billion, 183 million budget. Who would have thought Guy Ritchie's Aladdin would be the biggest Guy Ritchie film?
Who would have thought Guy Ritchie would be making an Aladdin film when he first started? And I mean, here we are.
It feels Guy Ritchie-esque in no way. Like
That's
if you
true,
look at like King Arthur, which is a Guy Ritchie film, it feels like somebody gave Guy Ritchie $200 million to make a King Arthur movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this has none of the quick cuts and the bloody blokes and having a pint down the pub as many of his other movies.
I was surprised how much I liked this though.
Me too.
Because I thought I was going to hate it.
As a recent convert to the animated Aladdin, that's very fun and charming. This will not be. And it was charming in a different way.
Yeah. It's not brilliant, but it's better than The Lion King, which we'll talk about. Number 7, Joker. This was probably the most bang for your buck in terms of profit, even more so than Endgame, because on $55 million, it made over $1 billion.
That's pretty
R-rated
impressive
as well, which has never happened before. It was a massive movie. For me, the central performance is what makes this movie. Otherwise, I think it's okay.
Yeah, for sure. It's a well-produced movie. It's a good lead performance in what I would consider quite a run-of-the-mill predictable script. And it's interesting because it will bring a different sort of audience to a Martin Scorsese style crime drama narrative.
Yes.
But to me, it doesn't redefine the comic book movie genre because I feel there's not enough elements of a comic book movie in this movie.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just it's a fairly run-of-the-mill Scorsese style drama with some comic book names added.
I don't
care
with that.
who I offend.
Well, you've offended me.
Okay, good.
Do you care?
I do care a little bit about that. I
Thank you, I
apologize.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. Next up, we've got Toy Story 4 on a budget of $434 million. Is that right? I should double check that because that seems way off. But it made over $1 billion. I'm going to double check that. But
Okay, please.
I thought Toy Story 4, not expecting that much from it, was at least as good as the other ones.
Exactly. That is the key at this point. It's the crown jewel in Pixar's list of franchises. And after 3, I
200 million budget.
There we go. After 3, I thought, well, eventually they're going to disappoint us with one of these. This one will just be average, but I think quality-wise, it's exactly the same, and that is impressive.
I think I liked it more than 3, which I also quite like
Yeah, right.
as well. Next up at number 5, we've got Frozen 2. $150 million budget, $1.1 billion box office. Not a surprise that this was a hit. I didn't really like it.
Okay.
I thought it was not as good as the first.
Why? Not as funny? Not as
No,
interesting?
it's fun. I think the premise is too muddled, and at the risk of slightly spoiling this movie, it's about different elements of magic, and you got Elsa who's like got snow powers, and then you've also got a lizard that can light things on fire.
Okay.
And then it's got a horse that's made of water, and then the last one is just the wind. And I'm
sure.
just like, what am I even... Anyway, I just thought it was kind of confused in its messaging and its mythology, and I think there was a chance to kind of make something really special building out of this world, and I thought it was just okay.
What is the name of the guy? And he lives in the...
Christophe.
Is he still full on mad and talking to his pack animal?
Yes, he is. And
good.
And there's some good songs in it, including a power ballad that he does.
Yeah, right.
Next up, number 4, Captain Marvel. $152 million budget, made $1.13 billion. There was a lot of talk of like, well, this is going to tank because get woke, go broke, bro.
I don't know. I'm not good with money, but I feel like if somebody gave me $1.1 billion, I could make that last for a long time.
Probably for at least 4 to 6 months.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't love it. I liked it enough.
And I think that is probably more so than anything else. It's just the curse of the origin movie. At this point, we've seen so much from the Marvel Universe and so many crossovers and so much elaborate storytelling. Whenever you go back to basics, like here's a character and here's how they acquired their powers and got their superhero name, maybe Doctor Strange or Ant-Man, when you go back, you go, well, this does feel a bit bare bones.
Yes.
And that's why they can feel a bit average, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 3, Spider-Man Far From Home, $160 million budget, $1.13 billion. Off the back of Endgame, obviously. It's the last in this phase of Marvel movies.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an epilogue, I guess, to
Good
the
finale.
story.
Good, solid finale.
I liked it a lot.
Good performances, great
villain.
Use of Mysterio's illusion casting abilities. Just some primo stuff. Again, in a world where we've seen so much incredible cosmic adventure and so much imagination, to get to the end of this and to still be impressed by the effects and the imagination involved was pretty very good work, Marvel.
That being said, there's still some stuff in this movie that I feel hamstrung up the character of Peter Parker. That being that instead of being like a poor kid from Queens, he's got all the technology and support of the ghost of Tony Stark.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And now his identity's out there. But again, all of this can be reversed in the next movie.
The next scene of the next movie if they want to.
Which they may very well do. But no, overall, I really liked it. Number 2, we've got The Lion King on a budget of $260 million. It made $1.6 billion. Breathtaking movie. Incredible. I've never seen animation like this. If you just showed it to me and said this was real life nature stuff, I'll be like, why is that baboon doing kung fu or whatever?
I think if you showed it to me, I'd be like, it looks like real life, but it's way more boring than real life.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Also, he's a mandrill. But, I know we'll get comments, I just didn't like it.
Yeah, same.
And I respect the work in it.
Yeah.
But it feels too safe and too boring, which I guess go hand in hand.
Sure do.
Yeah.
They're the best of friends.
And the songs weren't as good. The faces didn't emote properly. And
yeah, as an effects reel, amazing, incredible.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be used to better effect in future movies.
Definitely.
But this is one Disney-branded product I am not interested in revisiting.
Agreed. And of course, the number 1 film of the year and also of all time, Avengers Endgame, on a budget of $356 million, which is too much.
Yeah.
It made $2.79 billion.
That's way more than the other movies on this
I
list.
agreed by quite a lot. I liked Endgame a lot. I think it's probably incomprehensible if you've never seen any of these movies before.
But I mean,
it's not supposed to be.
Exactly. Enough people certainly saw it. The entire population of the world didn't go, well, I don't get these. I'm not seeing this. Everybody saw it.
Yeah.
Everybody has been keeping up with these. And again, it's like watching a TV show.
Yeah.
If you went to the finale of a season of a TV show and went, I don't understand this, would everybody be like, well, watch the previous ones? That's how this works. That's how a serial works.
That's clearly the situation.
Yes, right.
It's the finale of Jersey Shore. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm not surprised that it's number one. I'm kind of surprised.
Look out, Snooki's got the Infinity Gauntlets. There we go. I pulled a reference from Jersey Shore.
I'm a bit surprised that it beat Avatar. I think also, times change, don't they? But anyway, have you noticed a recurring theme in these movies?
Disney.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to have as good a return in 2020, but it just goes to show that Disney is an absolute juggernaut at the moment. So they've given up on their John Carters and their Nutcrackers that they do. It's all Disney, Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars all the way, I'd imagine, from here on out. Anyway, I'm curious though, do you think the movies that made the most money are deserving of...
Good question,
of it?
right?
Because there's a few on here that I'm like, why is that here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're talking about Lion King.
I'm talking about Lion King, yeah. Well, there's some other stuff that I'd love on here. But I'm curious though what people think, you know what I mean? And is this, the fact that Disney has getting this much share...
The lion's share.
Yeah, the lion's share. Do you think, how does that bode for cinema in the future? I think there will be a pushback at some point.
Yeah, but then Disney will crush it.
Then Disney will crush it. What do you think they're going to do? Stand back and do nothing?
Absolutely
They'll
not.
crush it.
They want to increase their share.
That's right.
They'll just buy everything and everyone.
It's not a problem to them.
That's right.
Also, of course, we have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows, where we just did an episode on the best and worst of the year. But there's also going to be a follow-up video to this where we talk about the biggest bombs of 2019.
Oh, can't wait for that.
Boy, there are some doozies on there.
Oh my goodness.
So please come back, I think, tomorrow, and it will be there. Anyways, my name's my name, and your name's his name, and we're out of here, aren't we?
Are you okay?
No, Mason. I'm
All right.
not.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, what a cliffhanger. We'll see you tomorrow. Grab that jam, you guys.